Hey, it's Eli K. Atlas, and if you've been using the internet since the beginning of December 2018, you've heard all about Tumblr and the big, but not good, idea that recently hit them, maybe too hard. Of course, they're perfectly entitled to do what they please with their site in terms of rules and regulations and management of content, but man, you gotta think of what your users want every now and then. And on the same note, as users, you've always got to be mindful of the platform you're using, especially if you're trying to monetize or gain exposure. So in today's video, I'm going to give my thoughts about what Tumblr did wrong and where a specific portion of its users messed up. Tumblr was launched in 2007 as a microblogging website. Within 2 weeks of its launch, the site had a little over 75,000 users. It attracted and continues to attract a variety of bloggers and curators who create a variety of content ranging from visual art, culinary techniques, to all things pop culture and subculture. Now, over the years, Tumblr has generated some controversy for their lack of regulation and control over content, and have faced backlash from its user base and from critics alike on things like copyright, user security, politics, censorship. Nothing out of the ordinary, if we're being honest. One element of particular note is its adult content, also known as porn. According to stats and polls by a bunch of companies that specialize in that type of thing, at least 25% of all content on Tumblr is classified as pornographic. And if it takes only 425s to make 100, and you're hosting over 1 million blogs, then that's 25 million Pornhubs all under one roof. That's a lot of TNA. That said, the porn base has been the most dedicated and consistent, and probably generates the most amount of revenue from Tumblr. So you would think Tumblr would do their best to cater to their most active demographic. Instead, they thought it best to prioritize their sponsors and protect their legal and financial positions going forward, which, while totally logical, meant regulating the life out of said active, dedicated, and consistent demographic. Basically putting the X on 25 million of their own users. Word on the street is this is probably going to be the death of Tumblr. If anyone knows anything about the internet, it's that it really loves its porn. So the streets might be right. Not only did they get rid of its porn creating users, Tumblr, as a result, got rid of all the traffic it would have generated because of those users. And that's got to affect your Alexa ranking. The actual bigger problem with that is, in their quest to purge their platform, there's been a lot of collateral damage. Graphic and visual artists who make innocent, non-pornographic art have been caught in the crosshairs, have been flagged to oblivion for having NSFW content. And it's affecting their money and their exposure in a big way. Now they too are going elsewhere. For the purposes of this example, let's say that's the second 25%. And now you've lost 50% of your user base in 2 weeks. Yikes. In their rush to curtail what they deem to be undesirable content, they might have cast their net a little too wide. And that's where Tumblr went wrong. For this part, I'm not going to be addressing the porn creators of Tumblr. Definitely not my place to do that, but rather the unfairly targeted artistic demographic. And I'll preface this by saying, if you started on Tumblr before any other website, and this is where your popularity and finance originated from, then this doesn't apply to you. I'll also preface this by offering a quote, "Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated." If you're an artist who draws or animates or does any kind of visual work, the places where you prioritize and monetize should be authentically geared towards what you do specifically. If you're a concept or video game artist, your headquarters should be around the realm of Society6, ArtStation, CG Hub, not Tumblr. It's always great to have a place to make a secondary income in the form of commissions or things like that. It's best to remember, this site isn't for you. Tumblr was a microblogging site. That meant there was no cohesive way to keep in contact with artists and even leave comments. Aside from their kinda lame messaging system, apparently there was a great deal of people making money off their art on Tumblr, I'm sure through links and referrals and even on-site commissions. But again, that wasn't the idea of the site at all when it came out in 2007. It was just another Twitter photo sharing style site. And this was a big reminder that nothing changed. Your core audience should be where you can always reach them, and where it's most optimized for you to gain maximum exposure and generate maximum revenue that you can. It should give you the tools to be able to do all those things, and in my opinion, Tumblr was never that. Which is why it surprises me to hear a lot of artists now saying they're losing a huge chunk of income from the purge. While I congratulate you guys on being able to make an impressive amount of money from that site against all odds, that shouldn't have been your headquarters in the first place. If generating income is your goal, there are a plethora of sites and ways to do that are geared towards art specifically, or at least more accommodating to that user base. Patreon, Gumroad, and even DeviantArt are prime examples. That said, I've done a whole video on sites that have helped me generate income in the past, and I'll link it in the cards up there somewhere. So in that way, I think if you're a visual artist losing a huge chunk of income because Tumblr is attacking its pornographers, you might have had your priorities wrong from the start. That about wraps it up for this week's video. If you liked the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share. These are just my thoughts on this whole thing. It's trending. I just wanted to get my thoughts in on the topic before it was too late. December 17 is technically D-Day for Tumblr. We're going to see if it lives or dies. If he dies, he dies. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share. This is going to be the second to last video of the year 2019. Probably going to take a quick break in January from videos so I can just like amass a good amount of content to be able to put out for you guys consistently through next year. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments about this whole situation with Tumblr. This might be the thing that crashes the internet. Especially, I remember the day they announced they were going to do this, and I'd noticed like they were taking down a lot of things. Some guys I watch on DeviantArt do post, I guess, what they consider now to be porn or something. So it's not porn, but like they're flagging everything now, even cat videos, everything from cooking, cats, animals, babies, whatever. It's like they cast the net too wide, like I said, so everyone's feeling the heat now. Like, I think I might be the only one who hasn't had my content flagged yet for some reason. I guess I'm lucky in that way. I didn't really generate that much views from Tumblr to make a significant difference, and I definitely don't make my income from that site. As I said, it's not really geared towards artists, so I never really put a lot of priority on there, but I always figured Tumblr was a good thing to have. It did help me keep update on certain things, and some content there is pretty cool, so that's kind of why I use it. Shout out again to the guys who do make their money off of there, but man, you gotta be a lot more careful. The internet is a tough place for artists, and this is just a good reminder of that. I think overall the problem with Tumblr was just that, eventually they started to just kind of, once the mergers and stuff started happening, Yahoo bought them, and then later Verizon bought Yahoo, and then they put it under a subsidiary company, and then the whole thing just kind of turned into a mess. They're having some trouble at iTunes now from what I'm hearing, so they're trying to kind of clean things up, clean up their image so that way they can stay on there or something like that. So they're having money problems basically, and now everyone else is having money problems because of it. So gotta be very careful. As an artist, I'm looking out for you guys. I really try to look out for you guys. So make sure you find a place, never leave your core audience, and your core audience is going to be at a place where it's all about what you do, as opposed to joining a group and then like the group changes their interests and now you're out of the group, which is basically what happened with Tumblr. So go to an art site that specializes in art, and if they specialize in helping artists get commissions or take commissions or do that kind of thing and advertise, definitely go to a site like that. Again, Patreon is a great example. I know a lot of guys are really killing it on Patreon. It's been like that for a little while since the site came out. I know that there's, zwall.org. That's the site that I use. Again, I'll have the cards up there. You guys can check out my a video I did on that a while ago, earlier this year, 2018, time of this recording. Yeah, Tumblr had a good run, man. Do I think it's over personally? The internet loves its porn, man. And yeah, Tumblr. They got rid of a lot of the content there. It's really unbelievable. So it's gonna be a lot of like, probably still fan art. I know they have a lot of K-pop stuff down there. I know they have a lot of I guess they're kind of doing the I don't know. We'll see. So let me know what you guys think. Let's get a discussion going in the comments. Tumblr, dead or alive? Will they survive without the original old school Tumblr content, So let me hear your opinion on artists. What kind of things should they get into? Should they be wary of sites like Tumblr? I think they should. because you always want to go again where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Tumblr was a good website, but it wasn't the best website for artists. So let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah, did you guys use Tumblr for extracurricular activities? You don't have to tell me, but make sure you leave a comment. We'll get a discussion going, and see you guys next year. Probably. No, let me do that over. See you guys in next week, because this is going to be the second to last video. So yeah, see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you later.
Sana, sumit ni Sumia. Andito sa sana. Sa kanas po niya dito. Hindi naman mamakalimutan.